Now, the COVID-19 global pandemic is having profound impact on consumers' lives. I know for a fact now as country-wide lockdowns are eased, consumers' behavior continues to be driven by new personal circumstances. Research shows that about 40% of all South African consumers have now started doing, shopping apps on their mobile phones compared to 30% in 2019. To help us unpack that or navigate through the consumer behavior in lockdown level 1, we are joined via Skype by Cassidi Beck, business development at payment fintech Payflex. Cassidi, welcome to SA Today. Thank you indeed for joining us. Well, speak to us. People who have data are happy. They could download as many apps as possible. Surely people are running out of space in their phones, because I know I have, with kids, with the wife, everyone wanting something. It's all about being accessible on the app now.
100% to be so. So I think what we've definitely seen, especially with COVID-19, is a huge movement, a fast track to e-commerce and this massive boom in retail, online shopping.
Now, the past year has seen, obviously, the radical changes in how people live, first and foremost, and how they shop. How are retailers having to transform in order to meet these changes? Because at the end of the day, it also helps if you want to buy something online, where you buy must come along and meet you halfway, because you must have outlets who are online for you to buy from.
No, exactly. So I think while we've seen this huge change, this movement to online, it's really about the retailers needing to adapt, to evolve the concerns and the demands of consumers as they change. So it's keeping tabs on their changing preferences, constantly redesigning the consumer experience, constantly addressing new pain points, especially with COVID-19 and how quickly we've become, we don't want to touch anything, we don't want to breathe on anyone, we don't want to have to try our clothes on, we just want to get our items, be happy and satisfied. So I think it's definitely seen huge changes for both the retailer and the consumer.
How have South Africans adapted to that? We understand, obviously, in particular when it comes to pay points, if you bank at certain banks, you've got reputable banks, you either got a tap card or you can pay via your mobile device. South Africans in general, we believe in cash. I know my grandmother would still believe in having a cash under the mattress. So there has been has there been a buy-in first and foremost in people wanting to embrace the new way of shopping? Or is it still a case of, look, I'll wait it out until COVID is lifted, I still want my money in the pocket?
No, so we actually we've seen a huge move to online. So as you mentioned earlier, actually, we were seeing about 40% of consumers who used to say, I will never shop online if I don't have to, have moved to online. They're online addicted now. And as you say, it's with the apps, it's contactless payment points. We've got our Zapper, our SnapScan, our MasterPass, which I think is just making it easier and easier for people to shop online. And even those who were originally or initially kind of very anti-shopping online have very easily adapted to it.
As fintech, how are you playing in this space? What insights can you give us, and how your retailers can support customers' financial needs as well?
For sure. So I think as a fintech company, we've seen a massive move to flexible payments. I think customers more than ever, they want flexible payment options, flexible payment solutions, and especially ones that kind of stay away from your credit facilities, that don't incur debt. So you'll shop now, but you pay later over 6 weeks, interest-free kind of things. And these are giving consumers the ability to still shop, to still spend, but without incurring that dangerous debt that tends to build over time.
How is the high rate of credit impacting on payment choices?
So I think that ties in with this flexible payment options. I think as consumers become more debt incurred, more reliant on credit, they're looking for kind of more responsible, more seamless, flexible payment options. And this is where that creditless, no debt incurring payment options comes in, which we've seen a huge growth in not only South Africa but all over the world.
Now, customers have obviously moved online during this time. Can you tell us more about the shift of customer expectations and how, to address them, if anything? Because one of the things that you get online, I mean, as for me, I'm not going to say as a man, for me, I go straight to the shop, I know what I want, click, I'm out of there. There's always that thing about some other people, I'm not going to say a name, who stay on the computer, 10 hours later, they're still on there, and she says, oh, I used a bit more money than expected.
No names needed. So I think as retail has certainly been fast tracked to online, I think, and as people become increasingly wary of online spaces, I think that definition of retail therapy has certainly changed. We used to love to go to the shops and smell clothes and try them on, and it was the whole experience. And because that's changed, I think people still almost want that experience when they go online. So I think retailers especially need to remember customers are still expecting that seamless, that frictionless, that enjoyable online shopping experience. They want to be able to sit on the computer and shop for 10 hours. And on that aspect, it's important that retailers remember, as online grows, as traffic moves to your website, that your website can handle the high volumes, that you've got an omni-channel approach to deliver seamless customer service, and that you prioritize speed and convenience.
I understand, Cassidi. I think it's come from your side. There is a heavy storm out there over Johannesburg for now, in fact, right over us here in studio. So I'm going to ask you one more question before I let you go. Obviously, retailers are scrambling for the digital space. How vital is it to actually get they do not lose the sight of retaining more personal elements? You've touched on it now, that they should understand what the shopper wants. Is it difficult to do that because of clickbait? Sometimes some people would go down and say, spam site, I do not want to see this. How do you guys play in that space to give me, the online shopper, exactly what I want, take me to where I need to go immediately, instead of having to navigate through all these pop-ups and everything to get to eventually do my shopping?
No, for sure. So I think it's so important while we move to this digital landscape, this growing digital realm, that we don't lose that personal, that human experience. So as one would walk into a store and be greeted by a customer, someone to help a customer, what computer you want to buy, what clothes are you looking for, it's somehow retailers need to find ways to still add that personal touch, that personalized element to their online experience. So I mean, simple things such as being able to live chat with someone while you're scrolling through computer items, or engaging content, and even something simple like adding a personalized delivery note once the parcel arrives to a customer, just to still give that element of personalization, that human touch. I think that's so critical, and it's important retailers don't lose sight of that.
Cassidi Beck, Business Development, Fintech, Payflex, thank you very much indeed for joining us. I know somebody was watching. When I get home, I'll get an earful, but thank you very much indeed for joining us right here on today on SABC News Channel, ma'am.
Tabiso, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Cassidi. Stay with us on SABC News Channel. We'll take a quick break, more news.